Hi, this is a video on how to make an extension for the ultrasonic transducer on a VISITANK ultrasonic level sensor model 7070. So what we're going to do is, the first thing we're going to do is take the bottom off of this rocket. There are two screws down inside these holes that hold the bottom onto the rocket. We unscrew one, unscrew two, and that comes apart. Okay, so the components that are in here, there's a circuit board with a battery. It's always a good idea to change the CR2032 battery whenever you're taking this unit apart, just to make sure you start out fresh. These units report every 7 minutes, so the battery life is a little bit shorter than you might expect from something like this. We actually have devices that last 10 years reporting once an hour, but these will probably get 2 or 3 years out of it at best. Alright, so you can see it's got the battery here. I'm going to disconnect the battery in order to power the unit down. There is also a silica gel pack in here to keep all the electronics dry. You want to make sure that goes back in. So here's a circuit board programmed, and this is what it does. So it's got an interface to the transducer down here. It's a transformer. There are two wires that go from the transformer to the transducer. Now the way this is going to work, you're actually going to need a donor unit in order to get a second one of these bases, because it has an ultrasonic horn down at the bottom here. This feed horn is an essential part of that, and you have to use that. So we're actually going to need two pieces, and so what I've done is I've taken a different unit, I've taken the base off of it, I've taken the ultrasonic transducer out of it, which we're going to do to this one in a second, and that's what we're going to use for the bottom of our sensor unit. But for the top, first we're going to take this. I find the best tool to remove the sensor is a simple pencil eraser, because it's a nice soft surface, it's not going to damage the transducer. You put that in, you press on it, and the transducer pops out. The transducer has a little rubber ring that goes around the outside, and this is the ultrasonic transducer itself. As you see, there are two wires that connect that ultrasonic transducer. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our snippers, we're going to cut these two wires. We're merely going to extend these two wires to that transducer. So what's going to happen, this transducer is going to mount into the sacrificed base that we took, cut the sides off of it, cut it shorter, and smooth it out a little bit. This transducer is going to pop in here like that, and this is going to form the bottom of our sensor tube. Then we're going to get a piece of PVC and put this whole thing together. So stand by, I'll be right back to this. Okay, I'm back. Been gone a couple of minutes. What I've been off doing is, you saw where I clipped the wires before, separating the transducer, sorry about that, from the electronics. And so these are the two pieces that work together and going through this base. I've simply added an extension wire on, and you can see the whole assembly right here. So it's this base, which is going to go into this tube. This end of the tube is going to go around here. This is going to get glued, and ultimately this wire is going to push down through here. And I left this so it wasn't exposed to show you it's important to solder these. You want to make sure you have a very good connection. I'm going to put heat shrink over these before I button it up. On both ends, I've got the heat shrink there, and I'm going to push the heat shrink down to here as well. So I'll be back in a sec to button that up, and we'll go from there. Okay, so the last step is just putting this back together. So you can see what I've done. Again here, I cut these apart. I added this piece of extension wire on. I added on probably 10 inches or so. This is for a 5.5 inch extension, but I want to have a little extra wire in case I need to work with it. So I'm simply going to fold this over on one end and tuck it back inside the pipe. And we're going to go and do that. So this end is going to go here. I'm going to simply get some epoxy and attach these two so the pipe is square with that. I'm going to do the same thing on this end after I push these wires in and put this unit back together on the top, and we'll have a completed unit. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Okay, this is our completed unit. I epoxied the top together, epoxied the bottom together. Sensor is looking out of that bottom the way it's supposed to, and that's that. So I'm going to put this back into the top, and we'll be done. That's it.